Good afternoon, and thank you again for clicking on my channel. I am Roman, and today we are going to go over L, the I guess what you want to call intro to Legally Blonde. Um, this is an Amazon original, and it only has 8 episodes. Um, thus far, for the first season, and it follows Elle Wood's journey through high school, exploring the formative experiences that mold her into the iconic, confident, legally blonde character. And this is, of course, a comedy slash drama. And you have Lexi Mintry, who plays Elle Woods. I'm not familiar with her. So maybe she is just an up and coming new actress. But let me click on her to see. Cause don't know her. Um, I mean, it looks like she's been in a few things, but nothing to talk about. Um, we have June Diane Raphael. I do love her. I think she's hilarious. She always kind of plays that kind of like smart ass, dry kind of sense of humor character. She plays the mother of Elle. Tom Everett Scott, who plays the father, Wyatt. And then you got some people who were like her new friends or some frenemies, depends on how you look at it. Jacob Moskovitz plays Miles. Gabrielle Policano plays Liz. Chandler Kenny. She looks familiar, but I couldn't tell you that I've seen her in anything. She plays Kimberly. Zach Looker plays Dustin. And Jessica Belkin plays Madison, which was one of her like friends from LA. Danielle Chand plays Shannon. Um, Amy Pietz plays Donna, which is Liz's mother. Who else? Who else? Who else? Oddly enough, which I never, I didn't know he was in anything else before he passed away. James Vanderbeek, um, plays Dean Wilson, and that's kind of it's like kind of sad to see him in something as he's already gone, you know. But so her father basically had done a botched surgery. He's a plastic surgeon, and they end up having to move to Seattle for a little bit. And this is like a totally different tone for Elle Woods because she's used to living in LA. And Seattle is a totally different place compared to, Los Angeles. Um, but she ends up making some friends, but it's not an easy journey. It's like in Seattle, everybody is like in grunge wear almost everybody's in black. It's I feel like it's always raining in Seattle. And now remember, this is set in 1995, and it's a little nostalgic for me, uh, hearing some of the music that was in that time frame. You get to see a blockbuster. I was like, oh, wow, a blockbuster. Um, Seeing certain fashion trends that were in style at the time. It was a very kind of like oh my god, like it was just a whole lot of memories that kind of like came flooding back. Um, but Reese Witherspoon, her company obviously is behind this, and she's the one who picked Lexi to play a younger version of herself. And I'm gonna be honest with you. She does not give me Elle Woods in any shape, form, or fashion. I think she does a decent job. And I said this to a few people, and maybe she can't act, so maybe that's why she didn't ask her daughter. But I was like, she would have made a perfect younger version of herself. Um, but who knows? Who knows what that reason is? Um, but as far as everyone else, I think they done a good job. Um, um, but in this, um, I guess precursor, if you want to call it that, she's in Seattle, like I said, trying to make new friends and trying to basically start all over. Um, she ends up getting, um, I think she was like an assistant or secretary, whatever you want to call them. Donna fired, but not on purpose, because she was like, oh, she was like trying to raise money to help staff, and she was one of those people, and she thought she was doing it out of the kindness of her heart, when came to find out, while doing something in her mind, a good thing turned out to be a bad thing. Because she was saying like, oh, she's taking like money and um, like out of petty cash, and helping kids who don't have any money get lunch. Sounds good, but then it's also theft. Forging like doctor's notes, also bad. Um, so when really she should have just stayed quiet. So then, trying to sign a petition and everything to help get her mom's job, well, Donna's job back. Um, that's like, oh, you need more than signatures to get her job back. And then come to find out that the principal, as well as Dean, were kind of like in cahoots of like stealing money that was supposed to be for either like the school, and also for a stop sign, was going into their pockets basically. Excuse me. And then blamed it on Donna. And so they like found evidence and kind of got them, the principal and Dean, well, principal fired, and then Dean was no longer eligible to run for, I think it was governor. I think it was. I think we're gonna go with that. Anyway, long story short, like it's a cute little like series, and I think it already got picked up for a second season. Not knowing how how it's going to do or be received. But it did leave like kind of on a cliffhanger. That Elle was kissing another boy when she was also kind of like liking another guy. The guy saw her kissing this guy and don't know what's going to happen until um mm, whenever the next season comes out. But so let's read some reviews, shall we? Already the first one is a 1 out of 10. Says Debbie Downer. While I have been looking forward to this series, but I could not get through the first episode. The prequel has Elle and her family that moved to Seattle in the mid 90s grunge period to avoid negative press. Well, of course, Elle, who is a happy, sparkly, kind of friendly, stylish, and very California, is in high school with grungy, negative, mean, and depressed teens. This has thrown off the Elle character, and she is acting stressed and confused. I was hoping for her shiny personality to rub off on the depressed teens, at least have it where she may solve a mystery or overcome something with her glittery ways. For now, I have to place this show on the back burner, and maybe I'll continue to watching the show for a few months. Um, well, Agnes, is that who you are? She does do that. So you have to keep watching. This other person gives it a 9 out of 10. Wow, this is the Megan Fox of our generation. I'm dazzled. Megan Fox? Really? I don't know what drugs you're on. But okay. She's gorgeous. She can act. And the story slash script are good. Why the hate? Every single show of the last decade, I stopped watching it after the first episode because they're so generic, boring. But it didn't happen with this one. The actress is magnetic. She's like a modern Linda Carter. Why wasn't this girl casted for Supergirl? She looks like a goddess. It would have been a box office smash. She has charisma, and this serenity of a superhero like Supergirl should have. I don't really know what's happening on Hollywood, but they need to start changing things, specifically in casting. How did they miss this girl? She manages to carry this show with her magic, similar to the old Legally Blonde, with which was equally magnetic and soft-hearted. Shame on you, Hollywood. Shame on you, producers and casting directors. Huge missed opportunity. The show, besides her incredible actress, has a solid script and story. I really didn't need a Legally Blonde series. Um, Even I love the movies, but well, there's nothing much to see these days. What else do we have? Crime, police shows, fireman shows, cop shows again, doctor shows. I'm tired of watching always the same. Finally, something fresh, different, even if it's an inspired story from, um, even if it's an inspired story from, people get a fussy and whiny. Come on, stop watching physician shows if you want something different or good. This show is really solid. Uh that was a long read. Um this next one is a 7 out of 10. Lexi was handed huge shoes to fill, and she handles the responsibility impressively. In her first starring role, Mintry, Lord, I can't read, admirably takes on the role Reese Witherspoon completely owned, and although she's a bit old, 25 to be playing a high schooler, rises to the challenge quite effectively. As a typical every actor playing high school students is absurdly too mature, both physically and emotionally, to be playing these characters. Granted, it's admittedly difficult to balance having kids who are legal enough to work with the need to have that young school age look. But these castings seems like a few who cares were tossed around. I'm also curious to see how Seattle responds to the plethora of plaid wearing, grunge listening, navel gazing stereotypes. Hopefully, they realize this story takes place in the 90s and can laugh at themselves. These minor gripes aside, the characters are fun. Um, um, the direction, cinematography, and set decoration are impressive for a prime production. Although it's pretty obvious that this is British Columbia, not Seattle, and the scripting stays true to the charming fish out of water source material. They could have easily turned it into an embarrassing and childish disaster. Um, where am I at? Sorry, someone was calling and I missed where am I? Disaster, but the team behind the series smartly leaned into the lovable and ditzy narcissism you can't resist, and Reese perfectly perfected 25 years ago. So far, so good. Nothing award winning by any stretch, but it's a fine and faithful spinoff that deserves attention. Oh, and be on the lookout for Beverly Hills Hotel car phone rainy Seattle phone booth scenes at the beginning of episode 2. Yes, that's where the famous album cover for Eagles Hotel California was photographed. Okay. Let's do one more. Um this one is a 10 out of 10. Wow, this one really loved it. Truly amazing. Elle gives clueless vibes in the best way. Elle is absolutely amazing. It's a hilarious, smart, and packed with so much heart. It feels like Clueless meets Legally Blonde with its own fresh personality. The 90s music and pop culture references are perfection and add so much nostalgia without feeling overdone. I found myself laughing throughout, and the cast has fantastic chemistry. It's funny, charming, feel good, and one of those shows that leaves you smiling long after it's over. If you love witty comedies with nostalgic 90s vibe, this is a must watch. Um, yeah, like I said, and they said it too, it's very nostalgic. Um, if you if you were born in the 90s, you will definitely and for me I was born in the 80s, so I definitely um was around then, and I caught every bit of everything. And even there was even like some nods to Legally Blonde as well. So it was very cute. So I say like check it out. See how you feel about it, especially if you love Legally Blonde. Um I probably give it a Probably 7 out of 10. It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't bad. But yeah. If you watched it, let me know. If you do plan on watching it, also let me know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And see you next time. All right. Bye. Mwah.